What if you are not human in the way you think you are? What if you are not the result of millions of years of gradual, triumphant evolution? What if you are a modification, a simplified, stripped-down, modernized version, a control model released only after the previous generations of humanity failed? Look in the mirror. You see the apex predator of Earth. But compare yourself to the myths of the past. Compare yourself to the structures left behind. The gap is impossible to ignore. There is a terrifying theory rising in the world of alternative history. It suggests that we are not an upgrade, we are a downgrade. For centuries, we have been told that we are the first high civilization, but the evidence suggests we are at least the third or fourth iteration. And the previous versions were not primitive cavemen. They were something else entirely, something unstable, something that had to be recalled. Think of it in terms of software. When a system becomes too aggressive, too complex, or too unpredictable, the developer does not patch it. They scrap it. They release a stable, safe, restricted version. That version is us. Science tells us that the human skull has been relatively consistent for 200,000 years, but in the basements of museums and in private collections that never see the light of day, there are artifacts that break this rule. We have found skulls that do not fit the model of Homo sapiens, skulls with cranial volumes 30, even 40% larger than a modern human. Skeptics try to explain this away as cranial binding, a practice where wood and rope reshape the head. But binding can only change the shape of the bone, never the volume. You cannot increase the capacity of a container simply by squeezing it. These skulls are biologically different. Some lack the sagittal suture, the crack on top of the skull that knits together in humans. They were born this way. They possess distinct, non-human bone densities that imply a resistance to injury we can only dream of. Mainstream anthropology calls these anomalies. It hides them away. But what if they are not anomalies? What if they are the fossilized remains of version 1.0? Look at the evidence they left in stone. We stare at the megaliths of Baalbek, where blocks weighing 1,000 tons were lifted and placed with laser precision. We look at the fortress of Sacsayhuaman, where multifaceted stones are fitted together like a 3D puzzle that no sheet of paper can slide between. Our modern cranes cannot lift these stones. Our modern engineers cannot replicate these joints without advanced diamond-tipped machinery. Why would a civilization build structures that require superhuman strength or anti-gravity technology if they were just simple farmers with copper chisels? They wouldn't. You build for your capacity. You build to your scale. These structures were not built for us. They were built by a race that possessed physical strength and cognitive processing power far beyond our own. They were built by the giants of the past, a humanity that possessed an intelligence we would consider supernatural. So why aren't they here? Why did the previous versions fail? There are 3 theories, and each one reveals why we were designed the way we are. The first possibility is that they were too smart, a biological singularity. A race with a cranial capacity 40% larger than ours might have unlocked the secrets of the universe too quickly. They may have accessed dimensions or energies that threatened the stability of this reality. They may have become a threat to the very environment of the planet, or perhaps a threat to the architects who placed them here. A technological or psychic explosion that resulted in a loss of control. The second possibility is that they were too strong. Archaeologists have analyzed ancient skeletal fragments where the muscle attachment points are vastly wider and denser than a modern human's. These beings were physically overpowering. In a world of limited resources, a race of super predators would eventually turn on itself or destroy the biosphere. They were biologically expensive. The third possibility is energy. A massive brain and a massive body require immense amounts of calories. Perhaps the previous civilizations were unsustainable. When the climate shifted, when the easy energy ran out, they couldn't adapt. They were the gas-guzzling prototypes, and they starved. And this is where the timeline aligns with the horror. Around 12,000 years ago, the human genome underwent a sudden, violent contraction. Geneticists call it a bottleneck. The diversity of the human race collapsed. It coincides perfectly with the disappearance of other hominid branches, like the Denisovans and the Neanderthals. It looks like a near-extinction event, but viewed through this lens, it looks like a formatting of the hard drive. It looks like a system purge. The catastrophic climate shifts of the Younger Dryas era, the floods, the fires, were not just random weather. They were the mechanism of the recall. The old, unstable, dangerous version of humanity was wiped out. And then from the ashes came us. Look at the modern human. Compared to our ancestors, our brains have actually shrunk over the last 10,000 years. Our bone density has decreased. Our physical strength is a fraction of what it once was. We are smaller. We are weaker. We live shorter lives. We are more fragile. But we have traits that the giants likely lacked. We are highly socially plastic. We are obedient. We form hierarchies easily. We accept systems of control. We rely on community rather than individual power. We are less independent, less volatile, and physically safer. We are the domesticated version of a wild cosmic animal. We are the wolf turned into the dog. We are not the heirs of the ancient gods. We are their replacements. We are the economy model, designed to function within strict parameters, designed not to question the nature of our reality too deeply, designed to build and maintain the garden without burning it down. The golden age myths of effortless construction, of telepathy, of men who lived for hundreds of years, these are not fantasies. They are the corrupted memory files of the previous operating system. This leads us to the final, haunting question. If we are the safe version, if we are the domesticated, controlled model living in the ruins of a superior race, then where are the originals? Did they all die in the purge 12,000 years ago? Or did some of them survive? Did they retreat into the deep earth, into the lava tubes of Mars, or to the stars, watching their replacements scurry over the surface of the world they once owned? If we are the sheep, the wolves might still be out there.